My name is Theo Colborn, president of TEDx, a health-oriented nonprofit in Paonia, and a registered voter in Colorado since 1964. I support the withdrawal of all 22 parcels the BLM is proposing. No parcel can escape the inevitable increase in toxic air pollutants in our valley if these leases are to be industrialized. Many citizens across the country have claimed that when natural gas extraction activities commenced near their homes, they began to experience health changes when drilling started, before fracking started. More recently, men and women who took contract jobs working in the gas fields have begun to speak out about their impaired health. The laborers admit from the first day on the job, like the residents, they begin to experience one or more of the same nagging, chronic health changes that eventually shift from mild to debilitating, irreversible neurological and immunological disorders and more, leaving many incapable of holding down a job. Their suite of symptoms matches the health effects of the volatile chemicals introduced during drilling and fracking. It also matches the symptoms of the volatile organic compounds in the massive amounts of exhaust from stationary and mobile equipment burning diesel and other petroleum products to keep the extraction machinery running and to keep the huge compressors running to get the gas out of the ground and move the gas in the delivery systems for the life of the well. And almost overlooked are many native volatile compounds that come to the surface in the crude natural gas, along with the methane, as soon as the drill bit hits the play from where their gas is being released. It is now apparent that even if you are more than a quarter of a mile away from a drill pad, you are not far enough away to be free from exposure to a list of volatile chemicals, some of which have 11 out of 12 possible health effects. Our valley is surrounded by 3 spectacular mountain ranges, which creates resistance for the global air masses that move from the southwest to the northeast, and like a bowl, traps the regional ozone and particulates and the locally derived air pollution. This bowl sets the stage for inversions full of egregious chemicals. The BLM office in Montrose already knows about our inversions and has postponed controlled burns because of them. Because of all of the above, and what we do not know what these chemicals will do to our children, I repeat once again, all 22 parcels should be removed.
State your name and who you represent.
My name's Bob Lario. I represent myself and my real estate business. I've been a resident of the Paonia area since 1970. I've been active in the real estate business in the Paonia area since 1976. I'm currently the principal broker, the president and the majority owner of Remax Mountain West. We have 3 offices. The primary office location is on Grand Avenue in Paonia. My main concern regarding the proposed lease sales is the negative economic effect, specifically the effect on real estate market and real estate activity. Our Delta County market, according to MLS statistics, has decreased every year in both dollar volume and number of transactions from the period of 2006 to 2010. That decrease over that 5-year period has been amounted to about 60%. In 2011, compared to 2010, the dollar volume of residential sales actually increased by 24%. And the number of residential transactions in that last 1-year period has actually increased by 42%. In the North Fork area, the number of residential transactions from 2010 to 2011 increased by 43%. So clearly, these statistics are showing a real estate market that's beginning to recover, struggling, but beginning to show signs of recovery. In the North Fork, a large part of this recovery can be attributed to the perception of this area by buyers as a location that offers a healthy, environmentally clean atmosphere, clean air, clean water, healthy lifestyle, etc. Unfortunately, the oil and gas drilling activities have a negative connotation and a reputation for many of these seeking this type of lifestyle. As a result of the publicity regarding the proposed oil and gas leases, I've already experienced negative effects in buyer interest in this area. Buyers who are deciding not to pursue property interest until the BLM decision on the lease sale is made. Therefore, in my business, it's the perception of a potential environmental threat that is already having an effect. As this process goes forward and we move out of winter into our prime marketing season, this perception could have a serious detrimental effect on our area's real estate market that is struggling to recover. I therefore ask that the BLM give serious consideration to these potential economic effects and withdraw the proposed lease sales for all 22 parcels. Thank you.
If you would like to introduce yourself and maybe your helpers, and
you bet.
And you got 3 minutes.
You guys can do it after me. Okay. My name is Tim Lafferty, and I am here today to ask the BLM to remove all 22 parcels from the proposed August oil and gas lease sale. I have been a resident of this valley for 15 years. This place is my home. This place is where I have chosen to raise my family. I am angry and fearful that our BLM would even consider leasing these parcels for oil and gas extraction that are in such close proximity to the towns and water supplies of the North Fork Valley. There is not a single resident of this valley that will not be negatively impacted in some way by the development of even one of these parcels. One of the roles that I serve in this community is as the president of the board of the North Fork Community Montessori School, a school that you passed on the way in here today. I am here to represent this school and its members. There are multiple parcels slated for leasing that will have a direct impact upon this school. Parcel number 6198 is located adjacent to the school, to the west, hundreds of feet from where we are right now. It and parcel number 6202 surround the school to the south and west. There are over 600 acres within 1 mile of this school. Acres that our children currently take walks and hikes on because they are our public lands. Lands that are set aside for the use of the public, us, not some random corporation located in another state or even another country that's sole purpose is to make as high a profit margin as possible. Development of these parcels would have immediate negative ramifications upon the children and staff. Air quality will be reduced as soon as one new road is cut in that adobe soil, and will be drastically affected if a well is drilled that will put unknown particulates and chemicals in the air. Our children currently spend quite a bit of time outside each day that I believe would have to be stopped. Large truck traffic would also increase dramatically. Trucks that would be using the same roads as our school buses. Also, what would the noise impacts of all this development be? Our school relies on enrollment for survival. We run such a tight budget that the loss of 1 or 2 kids means we are fundraising for textbooks and salaries. I have already heard of families considering leaving the valley at just the thought of these lands being leased. A stigmatism is already being created at just the possibility of this hard situation occurring. What will happen to our school if this leasing really comes to pass? This is all too close. Why? There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of acres that are leased or can be leased for resource extraction. I don't get it. Why would you take the chance of endangering a town's water supply or air quality to the point that it is not even safe to live there? Who is safeguarding us? Who is safeguarding the future of our children? I have brought some voices with me today to speak for themselves. Voices that need to be heard so that the powers that be that are making decisions for all of us will take them into account. Thank you.
So Tim, they're not signed up individually or are they?
They were not, but we were kind of hoping to build them in really quickly.
I think that unfortunate that your comments
Yep.
were a little long, but I just want you to each introduce yourselves by name. And just tell us who you are.
I'm Ben Lafferty. I'm Ethan Bartlett, and I'm 11 years old. I'm Henry Jones.
And I'm going to invite them to write down their comments and please send those to the BLM. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. I'm Brent Hellickson, and the meeting we're having today is precisely what the people in the Arab Spring countries are quite literally dying to obtain, the right of peaceable assembly in support of self-determination. I'm a resident of the Valley, an irrigation stockholder, a farmer, and a businessman, and I and my family have stone-cottage cellars, a vineyard and winery in the valley here. We're part of the West Elks Winery Association, which comprises more than 12 wineries and vineyards in the valley. The wine industry has been in development here for something approaching half a decade. In the past decade, in this most recent, half a century, not half a decade. This past decade, we've been growing between 5 and 15% a year and now account for about $2 million in direct sales and nearly $10 million in indirect sales and economic impact. And nearly 30 families in the valley obtain at least part of their income from the activities of the wineries and the vineyards in the valley. We all reside in an area called the West Elks American Viticultural Area, and that is an area that has been determined by the federal government to have unique soils and climate, geology or geography that would, the hopes being that it would support a unique kind of wine or a unique kind of experience for wine drinkers. There are over 200 of these AVAs in the United States. Most of them are in places you'd expect in California, Washington, and Oregon. 2 of them are in Colorado, and 1 of them is in the North Fork. That American viticultural area is entirely encircled by the parcels under consideration. Our business rests on 2 things. 1, the production of premium Colorado wine from premium Colorado grapes. That depends on our unique soils, abundant and pure water, and its timely delivery. And number 2, the sale of that wine to customers, most of which travel here from somewhere else. And they come for the unhurried pastoral setting, the restfulness, the recreational opportunities, and many other things. Each and every parcel under consideration either threatens us directly with loss of water, pollution of water or soil, or interruption of the water delivery system, or indirectly with the loss of the very reasons customers travel to visit our tasting rooms. The loss of that ambiance, the industrial exploration and development in an agricultural community, loss of recreational opportunity, loss of the quiet, restful experience. If the parcels are approved, we will face these risks, even if all of the industry standards are followed to the letter, which apparently is an uncommon occurrence. As a vineyard and winery, we reap no economic benefit from the oil and gas exploration and development, and therefore we would expect the costs of that development to be borne by those who do benefit economically. That would be the oil and gas companies, and those receiving severance, excise, sales, and other taxes. Those costs include the risk of soil and water damage, the loss of the other less tangible things I mentioned. I often hear these risks as described as overstated or trivial. If the risks are trivial, as many would have us believe, then, like businesses everywhere else, we should be insured against them. If the risks are trivial, there should be insurance companies lining up to take your premiums. The fact that they aren't suggests the risks are real and significant. Forcing those risks upon those of us who do not benefit economically strips us of our right of self-determination and falsely portrays the entire exploration and development effort as being profitable. Do not place the burden of profitability on the backs of those of us who till the soil. Thank you.